just running numbers really quick. Hold on. Okay. 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 Can you hear me good now, Sarah?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay. What are you doing?
Well, I was just going to finish up dishes until we got started.
Oh, that's okay. I just was wondering what you're doing. Like, what are you doing?
Oh, just finishing up dishes. Trying to
dishes.
Dishes. Yeah. Is it just you and me?
It might be because I don't know if I'm supposed to tell people, but Jenny just got engaged like minutes ago.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's so exciting. So she's like, I'm not going to be on live. I really was planning on it. I'm like, that's okay. You don't have to feel bad.
Oh gosh,
and right now, whoever watches this playback is going to, so I just shared the news. I hope she doesn't mind because it's on a playback. It's recorded, but it'll be in our private group. But yeah, she got engaged. And I think Jacalyn literally was just getting in the car after a party. Like she just got done because she had messaged me and said, okay, based on what I did tonight, I'm just shy of my goal of $2,000. And I was like, okay, so so she's really close. So actually, if you have any ideas that we can put on this recording quick that she could listen to tonight or tomorrow, because she's a night owl, she's always up late. She is just shy of $2,000 in personal sales, and she really wants to hit it. And I was just going to try to brainstorm for her what she could do. She said she did try to offer some of those 50% off bundles that didn't sell, but she didn't have anybody scoop them up. What else? What would you say to somebody?
Oh boy. Take something to work tomorrow. Does she work outside of the home?
Oh, yep, she works. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yep. So I would offer, I don't know, free shipping, because she could just ship it to her house and deliver it to her employees.
Yep.
I mean, I know that doesn't. I know that we shouldn't do that. But if
all the time, right? But sometimes
crunch time.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I would like
trying to think
work
and try to sell it that way. Okay, I was trying to think too. I just gotta make myself at home here in my chair so I can relax. I was trying to think too of ideas that didn't like shortchange the business, but like you said, I don't think free shipping is a bad thing. Sometimes I think people place $100 order if they know they're going to get free shipping. It's so dumb.
Right.
It's just when people think they're paying for it, they don't want to pay for it. Think about how many times you would wait for a good sale from me. Do you know what I mean? Like people just wait for the sale. So, okay, so that I'm going to type that to her while you can still hear me. I'm going to type to her right now.
I don't know.
Okay, what about you? How can
to any family and friends or, anybody that like might be willing to buy? Do you know how short she is?
Okay, yeah, I'll look right now while I'm on the phone with you.
Because if she was short like $50, who's willing to try some different salad dressings or?
So I think she's at 1737. So she's barely, she's barely 250 away, like about a qualified party. In my world, I would probably try to sell some mason jar salad bundles or, free
or just
shipping.
A bundle, like maybe do something with like, it's going to be beautiful this weekend. How about getting get your grill on bundle and be ready for grill season and, like promote the backyard barbecue and get your grill on and, try to get people jacked up about grill season and I don't know, offer like 10% off or something,
Okay.
Or free shipping or something, or free shipping or something, or, I don't know, that's a lot of money to try to, or what, I don't know how quick of a turnaround you could get on like a workshop bundle orders. It's a really quick turnaround.
Nope, I just listed her these. I like that. I like to get your grill on or backyard barbecue advertisement with either a free free shipping, 10% off. I don't think 10% off gets them as good as free shipping does. I think you're 100% right, though, on the free shipping. People just go for that. I put salad bundles like the mason jar salads, breakfast bundles.
Oh, yeah.
Or just buy one, get one, half price sometimes works good. Just ideas Sarah and I came up with.
Or skillet meal, something with skillet meals, because it's coming to be the time of track and baseball and softball and tennis. And, now with practices and everything, the skillet meals are.
Okay, I told her that. Okay, let's talk about, since you're on the call live, I want to make sure we get to talk about your stuff. So you just hit numbers! Woo woo! How exciting! How excited are you? Hello? Did you just mute yourself?
Oh, sorry, my cheek hit it. I'm done. I'm leaving the rest of the dishes.
Oh, no. You're okay. How excited are you about numbers?
Yeah, it's awesome. It's pretty surreal yet. I'm not gonna lie. I guess the big thing will be when I get my check for April and I'm like, holy crap, this is a lot of money, and then it'll be real.
Right.
But yeah, hard work pays off. So it's definitely been worth it. It's been a busy month, and yeah, it's all gonna pay off. So yeah, yay, excited. Woo!
I just read, I didn't know this, so now I'm focused on you totally here. So if you're watching the playback, bear with us because Sarah's on the call live. She gets my full attention first. So, okay, so you said beyond kind of you to your new recruit. That was really sweet of her. P.S. That was so sweet of her just to read my post and realize that could potentially help you and to jump in and say, I'll do it now.
Yes.
And then I love that you're kind of like already setting her mindset, like you might be able to hit fast start, because even if she doesn't go for fast start, she already has 180. That's a fifth of the way there herself.
Right.
You know what I mean? So even if she gets halfway there, it helps your team numbers. So
and that's what, because in the beginning she was so stuck on, I'm going to go slow, I'm not going to hit fast start. And then it's like, if you're $200 already, all you got to do is share it with 2 or 3 coworkers. And you could be golden right there. So, yeah.
Okay, cool. So when we hang up tonight before I go to bed, I will reply to her and say, yay, we're so excited. Well, then we'll get you signed up this weekend. Sarah can help you put your first order in. And just so you know, you're $20 away from hostess credits. So you might as well make a list of 200 and then you'll get 30 free. That's what I would start her with, because that's already $200 then. All we have to do is help her get 150 more. Does that make sense? Minimum.
Yes.
And then we'll go from there. So, okay, cool. So I will take care of that part of it. Like as far as Sarah, I'll help you this weekend. Just so you know, I just realized you said 180. If you do 200, it's a qualified party. And of course, we're going to tell you, who do you know? Who can you ask? Because once you order your kit, your catalogs will come and all that stuff, and you might as well use them. So I'll do a little coaching there, and then I'll let you take over, this weekend. We're not in a hurry, but we also don't want to put it off that she then loses excitement, because you could tell from her email I just read, holy cow, is she loving Wildtree?
Yeah.
Like she's loving it. Yeah. So we don't want her to lose excitement either. So we don't want to put it off any further past this weekend. Like we want her to get excited, get on board, get her products in. Not that she feels like we kind of scammed her into signing up and then she loses interest in the products. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So we'll focus on that. Okay. Let's quickly touch on your fitness people. So are you all understanding, all of the closing out the parties now and then restarting new links for the new people?
Yes, I believe so. I just need to touch base with one of my girls who hasn't signed up yet and touch base with my girls from the last one. So yes, it's clear now. Yep.
Wonderful. Okay, awesome. So we're good there. Okay, and then you'll get the new one set up because that'll be sales each month, like you said. So whoever's in the new group, and actually that's a great way to start out your April too. Want to talk about going for business bucks? You could start out by asking those gals to get their orders in, and by the 15th of the month, but hopefully they'll put them in by the 10th of the month. And that'll help you get your business bucks too if you've got your fitness people putting in the orders. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
I have a party. I have a 4-bundle party to put in the first right away for the
good. So did you save something? Oh yeah, you are saving something. Good girl. Yep. I think it's going to be smarter because you already rocked this month. Now, if you can rock next month, you'll get more percentage on your sales. So it's smarter to hold off at this point, I think. So, okay, so wonderful. So you're feeling good about this month. You're wrapping everything up. Starting with April, you've got some like official where I got to start. I've got to get Claudine up and running. What can I do for Leah? Is there anything Leah needs at this point?
I don't know. I don't think so. I want to touch base with her to make sure that she's good to go with Jody's party, and then because that'll be the next one at the end of April, and to see how she's coaching Jody and if she's been posting in the group and things like that, and talk to her about that. And I did throw the idea out there about the fitness group. I did put that bug in. She joined.
She did join it. She wants to be in it. I don't know if she wants to have people, but maybe this weekend you can just touch base with her. I'm going to type right now while we're on the phone quick. I'm going to say, Leah, how excited are you? Party in just under 2 weeks. And then I hear you have another at the end of the month, right?
Yep. And then her mother-in-law's is the beginning of May. So is it still just you and me?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I was like, man, this is a lot of attention. And
That's okay. Well, it's good. But if anybody does listen to this back, they're going to see that once you hit numbers, it gets easier and easier. You're already really going to find a groove. The numbers start to make sense, meaning you want to save any sales at this point that you can, because your paycheck's already going to be great. Now, if you were not doing that well, like let's say you had a financial goal of making $1,500 and you were just coming in at that, I would tell you to put everything in that you had. But because I know you've surpassed probably what you thought financially you were going to make, I think you're smarter. You're smarter to hold it.
Probably.
Yeah, so you're smarter to hold it now for the next month because you're going to make more money on it. Plus, it's going to help you get to that 3,500 faster as a team. Because in the beginning, you do carry as a leader more of your own bulk. Out of 3,500, you're going to carry 3/4 of that yourself, and your 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 teammates are eventually going to grow, and then they're going to start to carry the bulk of it. And you will always do whatever you need to do financially for your family in sales. But in the beginning, you're more focused on what do I got to do to meet that number? What is my team going to do? And then what do I got to do to make up the difference, basically? So everybody listening, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, can you tell me about the training bonus? I don't understand. Is that just you?
No, you're going to get it too.
So tell me how that works. I'm not sure how that works.
So as soon as you hit team leader numbers next month, this month is just like a pat on the back. Good job, Sarah. You did it month 1. When you hit 2 months from then on, you will be paid as a leader. Okay. So you'll be a leader in the company and you'll get 40%. And then you will make 12% off of every dollar your recruits put in. And as they recruit people, you'll get 7%.
Okay, that's where
all the way down. Okay, all the way down. So let's say Leah asked Sally, and Sally asked Susie, and Susie asked Beth. 7% on all those people, forever.
Yeah. Okay.
And what that's for is, as you know, the time that you're putting in. Like you did do a call with Claudine, and you did a call with Leah, and you're messaging her. You're getting compensated for that time too, because obviously you'd be better off going out and doing one party because you make 40%, right? So Wildtree does pay you a training bonus to train your team members. Now, of course, I help you and I'll do anything I possibly can. But obviously, sometimes you have the relationship with them. You met them at the party. You are much better off saying to them, hey, how can I help you? Than this stranger who's way up high to them. I'm not. You know that. I'm not on a pedestal, but they put me there. Do you know what I mean? So that's what you get paid. Sure. So, and then also remember, if your team members add a team member to the team in their first 35 days or forever on past Fast Start, that person counts as one of your 2 people every month. So for example, it can be Leah, like Leah this month was one of your people, right? Next month, let's say Leah hits her 350 again and Claudine does, but let's say Leah and Claudine both recruit somebody else. You could have 4 or 5 or 6 people in no time working on your team.
Right.
So that's why we try to create a team culture that's very open-minded, that even if you don't want to do this business full-time, share it with others, because what if they do? What if you meet somebody that needs the income? You maybe don't, but what if you meet somebody like me? Janelle met me at a party and she had no idea I was going to do what I'm doing now. Do you know what I mean? So, because I said I would only do it for the discount. So basically from this point on, all the people that come into your team count as your 2 people every month. So every month you as a team have to hit 3,500 and you have to have 2 human bodies put in 350. You got it. Perfect. Okay. So is that all good?
Yes, I understand that now.
Okay. I just am asking Leah for you. Leah, how excited are you? I hear you have another party at the end of the month and another at the beginning of May. How can I help you coach those hostesses, get huge attendance, practice your demo.
Oh yeah, that would be probably the next thing.
Whatever.
Yeah.
How can I best support you this week? Because we want her to find a groove. My goal would be to create a system for you that means big fun parties, paychecks. I spelled it wrong. Hold on.
Meeting new people.
And then a full calendar.
That's okay for you. Like, don't, like, full calendar.
No. She knows that. She knows that. We talked already.
Okay.
Yeah, no, we messaged back and forth quite a few times. My goal would be to create a system for you that means big fun. Because she asked me how much I'm making per month. I don't think she was comfortable.
Okay.
Like, I don't think she wanted to ask in front of you, which I don't care. I mean, she could have. But she asked me, like, I literally want to know how much you're making a month and how many people you have on your team. Like, she asked me very finite details. And then from there, we broke it down.
So you think she's ready to just let her beller?
I think so. I think she's scared, though. This is what everybody's afraid they're going to take on too much and fail. Everybody's afraid. But think about you. You were afraid, too. So I just feel like I don't want to tell them I don't want to say, Leah, if you want to make this kind of money, you could do it in 6 months, but here's what you have to do. Because I feel like that just scares them. So I just was like, okay, well, what can you do? And she's like 2 or 3 parties a month to start. Perfect.
Okay. Yep. And that's where I feel like the whole thing in hindsight with me, it's a lot. I mean, I do know a lot of people from a lot of different areas, so I can reach out to a lot of people. So that might be part of my success. But I feel like in hindsight, it's not easy, but it's a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. And it took off a lot faster. Like, honestly, when I signed on the end of December, I would have been happy with $350 a month, and my first one was what, 600 something, and then last week it was 7, almost 800 something, and this, March is going to be over 1,000, and it's just like, holy, and it's been fun, like going out and seeing other people's kitchens and being like, I want that and I want that, and this is why I'm doing Wildtree, because I want to update my house or get out of my house or something, at least for part of it, because when I started, I'm like, okay, Bridget's getting married. That's my sister. And I need money for this, and this. And, the kennel and the hotel and the dress and all that stuff. And that's what I was most worried about. So that first paycheck in January and February took care of like all of that, And so it's crazy. It's crazy to think that it's happening to me again.
Yes. So here's what I would tell you. With Leah, when she reaches out, that's a clear sign though that this income could make a difference. So something I'm training you now as a leader. Okay. So anybody listening to this call back, here's where I take you next. As you start to get the gist, and Sarah knows that she can't roll into April and May and do one party. She knows that if that's what she does, then she won't promote to leader and you won't stay a leader. I already know Sarah's got that down. So if you're here on this call and you're doing 1 or 2 parties a month, that's okay. It's just you're not at the place yet then where you're going to need what I tell you next. So Sarah, you're at a place where as long as you maintain your own personal calendar and you continue to share the opportunity and get people plugged in to discover Wildtree each month, so pay attention to those in the room that ask income questions. Pay attention to those in the room that are asking you about anything besides the product. Anything besides.
I'm not getting many questions at all.
You are, I bet. I bet you are, and you're not. You're just answering them so like blah, like you are so natural at this already. I bet you're getting some, and you're not even registering them as they're interested. $50 I'd put on it, but more than that, I was going to move into that next. So hold on. Make sure though that you keep your calendar full and that you continue to plug people in. At that point, then you'll get the pleasure of working with people that come on board, like Claudine, who we clearly know right now the best way we can support her is to help her hit any goals in the beginning, teach her how to put her own orders in, and let her be a lover, right? You agree. She's just going to be a product lover for right now. I think she's going to launch then in May or June when she's in her house, but we can't tell her to do 6 parties a month. That wouldn't have been appropriate. She has no goal of that at all. Where Leah reaches out and she asks very finite details. So now what I'm going to be doing is making sure in my coaching process, and you're going to see that I'm asking her finite details back. Do you know how to coach the hostess? Do you know how to do this? Do you have a demo laid out? Because here's what's going to happen. If she goes into her 2 or 3 parties she has and she doesn't make money doing it, she's never going to continue. She's clearly
Right.
here for income. So that is where, as a coach, then you focus your efforts where needed. Claudine is not going to need a lot of energy. You're going to make sure she's set up and you're going to love on her, but that is it. You're not going to be checking in with her every other day, nothing like that, because she doesn't need that. She told us that. Where you are going to spend energy if you have it is then checking in on someone like Leah, or again, working on your own calendar and your own recruiting. 80% of what you do until you and I talk and we feel otherwise is going to be your own personal business. And only 20% will be working with your team. Does that make sense?
Oh, sure. Yep.
And so that is one thing that if you're listening to this call, this is really important. As you move into Sarah's role now where she's going to promote out, you can't spend 50% of your time working with that team. You're not at a place where you have a team big enough worth 50% of your time, or you will stumble. Okay, so back to what you said about, because right now you need to be doing your parties, you need to be growing a bigger team, right? You want to have 20 people or 30 people. And so here's what I would tell you. You just said I don't have anybody asking questions. One simple thing is, do you ask them to ask you questions about your business?
Yes. Well,
okay,
I ask them, I try to give them the little bribe of, every time you ask a question about the business, about products, about anything, Wildtree related, I have a little slip of paper. I'll put your name on it. I'll pull for a free sample at the end, try to bribe them. And, especially at the last one, it was just like crickets. And I'm like, okay, well, whatever. It's a small party. 2 of you already know Wildtree. Like, okay, I get it.
But was that
And then
okay, now hold on. So is that only at the end, or you tell them at the beginning, and then do you at the end say one more chance, who has a question about products? Okay, great.
Oh, I suppose I could ask earlier, because usually when we do the workshop, like when we start going through the workshop is when I start asking or telling them to ask questions. So from the beginning. But I do, like at the beginning when we do introductions and I ask the question of, if you could walk out of here today with one more thing, what would it be? It could be Wildtree meal planning. It could be outside of the box, like your husband quitting smoking, blah, blah. And then usually they ask something Wildtree related, or they say something Wildtree related, like recipe ideas, menu planning, whatever. And then that helps me with my demo. Like that's kind of how I tailor my demo to their, like what they want out of it. And so I don't know if I just answer their questions while I'm doing that. But
be very careful. Your sales are a good indicator to me that you're rocking on the menu planning and the usage. So don't change a thing. Don't change anything. Okay. But you're going to have to interject more about the business in there. I bet you're not enough because you're so damn good at the meal stuff. Do you know what I mean? So to anybody listening to this, typically if you have you're accelerating in one area, you're without meaning to putting the brakes on in another.
Yes.
So Sarah being so good at what you're doing, Sarah, people aren't going to want to join because they're just going to want to come through you. Because they know you're going to give them a deal if they really were broke. They know that you're going to help them menu plan. They know that you're going to find the recipes for them. So why would they join? Like literally, why would they? And you're not doing anything wrong. You're not doing anything wrong. So what I would encourage you to do is do the same exact thing, but at the very beginning, make sure you paint a picture of what Wildtree could be when you're introducing yourself. So don't be shy now with, I'm going to be real with you guys for a second. This is how I would start to introduce yourself. I have been a Wildtree customer for 3 years, and hindsight is always 20/20. I should have joined my rep, Kayla's team, 3 years ago, because I just joined this past December, launched in January, and you guys, my paycheck's $1,450 of impactful income for my family, or whatever it is. So if you've never thought about this, or you have thought about doing something like this, or you just think I'm kind of funny and maybe it's worth a shot, I want to talk with you later. No pressure. We don't want you here if you don't want to be here, because there's 3 ways to Wildtree: as a customer, as a host, or as a team member. But I would be honored to show you this is the most legit business plan I've ever seen. Just something like that right in the beginning, because that might make someone in the room go, for real? I could do this.
Right.
And then as you go through the night, when you're doing questions and menu planning, there might be a place where you can appropriately say, I think the other cool thing about being a Wildtree rep is I have all these tools at my fingertips. So I literally now am living healthier than ever. Like, I can't believe how simple these tools are. Like, you can interject more things about the business while you're doing your amazing job. Does that make sense? So don't change anything you're doing. Just maybe paint the vision a little bit stronger at the beginning. And then at the end, you can say, okay, now I'm not going to pick a winner, but I'm going to give, until all of you ask questions, one last time, one last category, and I'll give you 5 slips for each of these questions about the business. And you can give them just 5 little scrap pieces of paper for the business instead of 1. Does that make sense? That's usually how I get them to participate.
That's a good idea. Yep, that's a great idea.
Yeah, just to tie it in more, and you can say no questions are off limits. I would love to answer them all about anything, because I know sometimes, how I usually get the most conversation? Now, I just thought about it. Sometimes it's hard for me to coach you guys because I wing it now and I don't even know what I say. But this, I was just going to say it naturally, so this must be what I've been saying. I usually say what I just said. Okay, guys, last call for questions. The last category is my most favorite. I think it's our best product, and it's our business opportunity. Who has a question about the business opportunity? Any question you ask now is worth 5 slips. No questions are off limits. And just for the record, my biggest goal tonight with this is to kill the stigma of direct sales. We're not evil, pushy, salesy people. I don't think I am, right? And then I say something funny, and then they all laugh, and I usually get questions then. I think if you say, like, I want to be different. I want to change the world. I want to kill that stigma of sales.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Great.
So
Yep.
just some advice. Again, anybody watching this, recruiting is going to be being pushy, self-righteous. Oh, go ahead.
Nothing. You were just cutting out, and it was sounding really goofy.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. So that would be my my advice to you on that would be to just start it out with a bigger picture, I think, for sure. Okay. Yep. Is that helpful?
And that's just it. When you say, like, I can definitely see talking to, in hindsight, I wish I would have done it. My first 3 paychecks have been a lot more than, what I expected it to be. And I don't want to I don't know, but I want them to know that, like, I'm a teacher, and like, this has been,
so why does that bother you? Like, why would telling them?
I feel like I'm bragging almost, like.
Just say that then. Say, I'm not going to say this next sentence to brag, because this is a part-time job and I do work for it. You can say that very honestly. You can say, I get up in the morning before school, or I stay up a little later, but I do want to share with you what you really can make here, because people don't think we make money. People think that I've invested something. I've spent nothing but my $50 kit and some dollar buckets at the dollar store, whatever you've spent. I don't know what you have. But literally, when I started, I bought bowls at the dollar store and my kit, and then a few other products. Yeah, that's it,
Yep.
Is that helpful? I guess that is a very good.
That's very helpful. Yes, that's very, very helpful, because it's like, how do you, like, I want them to know that it just takes a little bit of extra time, and, like, I'm being successful in little pockets of time. And so, I mean, I guess I just answered my own question. Like, it's just naturally talking about how I came this far so fast, so.
Yes.
And then, like you said, just the $50 investment, that's all it took, and then some time here and there. And, so.
Absolutely. And I think that's the hardest. I think that's the hardest thing, Sarah. So anybody watching this playback, what I hope you take away from this is all these cool things that we're going to get to chat about as you continue to grow your business. Even when you're rocking your freaking sales, don't take offense to this, Sarah, you can still have an area that you feel like, oh shit, I'm probably not painting the picture well, because I'm feeling like it's a self-righteous thing. Like, I don't want to stand up there and feel like, oh, look at me, I just made $1,500 off of your purchase that you made for this workshop. Like, that is an uncomfortable thing. But the car salesman that you buy the car from thanks you and is honest that he gets a paycheck. You can see on his desk when you go in to buy the car, the pictures of their family at Disney. So they take the income, they make it a car dealership, and they spend it how their family needs it. You can say that too. You can say, honestly, I'm a teacher, you guys, and I never thought we would ever have the opportunity to do anything extra, if you will. And Jason and I are now getting to have conversations like, oh my gosh, if we use this money this year to do X, we could do this in 2, 3, 4 years. Like, that's something that you can say, because you're not like going to the casino and gambling it away, Sarah. You're using it for livelihood. And you can also say, and I get to turn some of that back into rewards and fun things for my hostesses. And I get to bring extra products to the tasting, because I had no idea I would make this kind of money. Like, you can turn it into whatever you want. But I definitely think that if you guys anybody listening to this were to ask me, like, what's going to be the hardest part is remembering always you are blessing them with an opportunity that they choose to take or not take. But if you don't tell them what life has in store, like what it could be, they do not believe it, nor do they know. They don't know. So you're literally asking someone to join your team off of maybe you ask them at checkout if they're interested in the business. Well, that would not have been enough for me. Janelle Bleefernick had to say to me, this is what it does for my family. I make $5,000 plus a month. And I was like, for real? No, you don't. Like, you're a goofball just running around the room with products and everyone's sampling and having fun. You don't make, I was thinking in my head, you don't make $5,000 a month. She does more than that. So like, and she's good at it and she's great and she doesn't kill herself to do it. So I would just encourage you, like, to all of you listening to this, when you start to perfect your parties and find your groove, make sure you touch on all three things. You have to have bookings on your calendar to stay in business. You have to have customers that continue to come back and reorder. Reorders become so important down the road because you may have a month where you can't leave the house 5 times and you can only leave the house once or twice. You need to have a good reorder business. Does that make sense, Sarah? And to anybody else listening, I hope you'd say yes. And then, so you need customers, you need hostesses, and then you need teammates because that's how Wildtree grows. And we want more products, and we want a bigger catalog, and we want more opportunities, and we want an app, and we want all kinds of fun things. Well, I'm sure a company has to grow in sales for them to be able to put the money into an app and different things. So like, that's what we have to do. We have to grow Wildtree, and that's how we do it. So, and you know all of that. I think it's just fine tuning now to perfect your skills because ideally, Sarah, in the next 2 months, more of your recruit leads will start to come from parties or people that are watching you on social media, and less of it will be you reaching out cold. You've done an amazing job of reaching out cold, but it will get easier now because you will start to form relationships. Like you've got Brooke coming up as a hostess. Hopefully she'll do the switch over after she's a hostess. Do you know what I mean? So you, right, Brooke's her name? Yes, Brooke. I got it right, didn't I? Yep. Yes, I got it right. Yes. Leah, Claudine, Allie is your first recruit you had. Brooke, we just talked to, and Rachel's kind of on the fence, right?
Yeah, I've not touched base with her this week. Thank you. Yeah.
That's okay. No, that's okay. Maybe let it go to the weekend. Maybe give her some space because you'd want her to start in April anyway. Do you know what I mean? Right. Like maybe giving her that space will be what she needs. But there, I just nailed it. I just got all your team members right. Woo, woo. I wrote them on a marker board. I'm not sitting by the marker board, but I did write them down the other day because sometimes if I write them and I see them, then I can start to like remember them, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Okay, so anything else I can help you with before we get cut off? We have about 5 minutes before it'll cut us off.
Man, I don't even know. You gave me some great ideas for how to tweak my demo. I guess that's the biggest thing because honestly, like how I do it, how I was doing it was toward the beginning, how I became, how I signed on and how it's been pretty easy, but I don't really go into too much detail. And then when the 3 ways to Wildtree, customer, hostess, business, I talked just a little bit about the $50 kit and then I kind of just move on to the next thing. And then at the end of that checkout, I'm like, what did you enjoy? What did you find the most helpful? How, would you be interested in the business opportunity? And I've been getting a lot of like head down, look away, not right now, like a lot of ones on the paper and whatever. But I haven't been talking about it and I haven't been like excited and talking about our team. And like, that's something that I can definitely improve on. But that's kind of how it's been going down so far.
Okay, cool. I want to touch on really quick. So organization is huge. And at your point in the business, Jacalyn asked about this too. She said, I need to organize my surveys. I just would recommend at least getting a binder, you guys. And please be very careful too. If you do a Facebook party, make sure you print out the summary of the party and put it in that binder, or you may lose sight of those customers just because you don't have a survey from them. So just be very careful with that. Hostess coaching, if you want to talk about this one-on-one, Jacalyn, you had mentioned this. I know you're going to watch the playback. You just told me you're going to watch the playback in a message. I would definitely make sure that you treat every hostess the same. I'm sure, Sarah, you would say that to some regard, but then also find out why they're hosting the party and go back to the training from this past weekend, the packet where I do find out why the hostess is hosting with me. I try to challenge her to get more people there, outside orders from anybody that can't come, and then to really get excited. Let's make it fun. We're going to have a great time. And just keep it super simple. Find a strategy that works for you as far as snacks go. So they're never more worried about the snacks than they are getting people there. You guys, that's what you need. People. People are the face, like they're what you want. You want to help people. If you didn't want to help people, you wouldn't be in this job. You definitely want to help people with mealtime. So I would do that. Sales at parties, a good way to track your sales. You guys, at this point in growing with Wildtree, you guys have all been here long enough that your party should be averaging out at the end of the month to 500. If you are doing more events a month and you're doing the math and you're coming out to anything less, we need to talk about that. I mean overall too. I don't just mean like workshop pre-orders. Sometimes you might have 4 bundles, Sarah, like you made a comment tonight, and that's okay. And then maybe more people will come the night of. Maybe those people place outside orders. But if you do an average, I would like you guys to all make sure you're hitting about 500. If you're not, I want you to reach out to me or post in the group page, please, because that's an issue to me in my mind. It means that maybe we have a deficiency in your business. Maybe we haven't figured out your niche in sales yet. And we want to figure that out because every time you leave the house, it's gas, it's product, it's your time. Your time is valuable, and I want you to make money here. So make sure you're doing that. And then Jacalyn had made a comment. I want to touch on this before it cuts us off. She's finding a challenge to balance working a busy month now and building up next month. Sarah, you have done an amazing job. Your April feels very full to me. How does your May look at this point?
I'd have to look at my calendar. I know I have a couple, but then Memorial Day weekend is completely shut.
Yeah, no, and you wouldn't want to.
Right now.
I was saying, I don't think you'd want to do it.
I've got a workshop on the 5th. I've got a potential workshop on the 6th. I've got a workshop on the 12th, on the 13th, on the 18th.
So you're doing about 2 a week. It sounds like you're doing about 2 a week.
For one the first week, 2 the second week, 1 the third week, and then it's Memorial Day weekend in between a wedding and our nephew graduating.
So if somebody wanted to sneak in there, you could sneak them in the first week or the third week, but then you're basically going to be full.
Yep, or just during the week. I have weeknight. I mean, this is all Friday, Saturday, a Thursday. Okay.
What I would tell you is that's very good, Sarah. At some point, you know where your cap is and cap it off. It's okay to be like, I'm into June. Because you want to book enough that if someone cancels, it doesn't kill you. But you also have the ability at this point to say no. And I that's what I meant the other night when I said, hey, Sarah, at some point we're going to get to chat about how don't take on too much that you end up killing yourself. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Make sure you balance it out. Now, again, if you're doing a lot of vendor events, like you said, you kind of have some weird things in April. I'm proud of you for realizing that those could be a little bit like you're not really sure what you're going to get from them.
Yeah.
So I'm proud of you for knowing that and just saying, okay, in April, it might be a little bit crazy, but I don't want to cancel anything or tell a hostess no, because what if I don't get anything from the Blue Zone things? I don't think it's going to happen. Yeah. But I'm proud of you for having that mindset. However, when you have parties booked in May, just pick how many you'd like to hold and book one more than that and then be done. Don't go over. And never, I really recommend when you're working full-time, 8 is a great number if you can do that, but I wouldn't do more than that, just so you know. And I think you're going to get overwhelmed. Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe you want to make $6,000 a month here. And if you do, you're on track for that, Sarah. So you keep going. You're going to make more money than me, girlfriend. No, seriously. If you want to make $6,000 or $7,000 a month, you are on the right track to do that right now. But just be careful, because I don't want you to burn out and in 3 months look back and say, okay, I was making really good money, and then I went for like this big, huge check, and I burnt myself out. Do you know what I mean? So there's a difference. Perfect what you're doing at your parties so that you grow a team and you grow a great business here, and then you don't have to work as hard, if that makes sense. It'll all get easier, and then you can pick the number of parties that you want to do, and that'll feel good to you. So, okay, cool. That Jacalyn, if you watch this back and I missed things, I think you had some other questions in there as well. Can I ask you something, Sarah? Are you using a hostess coaching checklist to make sure you check off each hostess and you touch base with them, or what are you doing?
I don't. Much right now having Leah, I'm just kind of going based on what I am.
No, not rep, hostess. Do you have a checklist that you use for each hostess?
I should. I don't, but I should. I've got so many, like next week it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And so when I post something in one group or I touch base with one of the hostesses, then I usually do the other